Hey guys, welcome back to Elias and Whip Company. I'm Isaac, and today I'm going to do a complete tool list of all the tools that I use for whip making. Some people like to just use a few. I'm a tradesman in my background, so I like to find the right tool for the right job, and I collect quite a few. So this will be my complete tool list on what I use to make a whip. Okay, so starting off, this is my full toolkit. We'll go through here one by one and show you all the stuff I use and what I use it for. Starting off, we'll just start down here with the pliers. These are a pair of wire cutters or dikes. I use these for cutting the paracord in a nice crisp line to make it easier to thread into a lacing needle, and it also makes it so the paracord doesn't fray as much as it would with standard scissors. Secondly, a pair of standard scissors. These are fabric scissors. I'll use these more for making crackers and stuff like that. This is just a cheap Walmart pair. Third, we'll keep going with the pliers here. A pair of needle nose pliers for pulling your heel knots tight, or if you need to really secure a strand of paracord. These will be what I go to. Screwdriver. I know it seems kind of weird, but I use these for tying my crackers very quickly. If you want to check up here, I'll try and put a card to the Shopworks making crackers video where you can kind of see how I use this, and I'm gonna have a video out here pretty soon on how I make my crackers. An X-Acto blade. I use these for trimming leather for my heel knots, and I also use it for trimming off the excess paracord where I started all of my strands for starting the whip. Good set of hemostats, or forceps, whatever you would like to call them. I don't quite know the difference. My wife's amazing. She's a nurse. She probably knows, but I have a big one for spinning crackers, and I have a pair of two for doing tapered twisted falls and tapered twisted ends on my whips. Lighter. This one's a little big. I'll have a smaller one linked in the description that works really good. This one's a little big. It's a big cigar lighter, but it works. It gets the job done, and it's really good for toasting the end of your whip when it's done. So I do like it, and I do still use it. Go on to some measuring devices here. This I'll usually have around my neck when I'm making a whip. It's just a piece of fabric tape that a seamstress or a tailor would use. It's really light. It's a lot easier than hauling around either of these guys, which I use to measure out my strands. I'll usually have the 25-footer pulled out on the floor, and so I can measure stuff a little bit more exact. I try and be as cautious as I can when it comes to waist of paracord. This guy right here is known as a machinist square. As I said, I'm a tradesman by background. My college degree is actually in tool and die making, or injection mold making. And I use these a lot in the shop, and now I use them to get a good square cut on my leather for heel knots. This isn't really a tool, but I do use it here and there. This is, I think, 5-minute epoxy. I'll use this to hold a wooden handle onto a whip, or fill up the wooden handle before I stick the metal core down into it. Next is a bunch of lacing needles. These are a whole bunch of different types. I have the black ones are by this Wild Wolf. They worked pretty good, but they don't quite get into the better, thinner paracords that you get from like Paracord Galaxy or the Paracord store. For that, I'll either use a 275 needle. This is a cheap one I got off of Amazon. And then these are the Jig Pro Shop micro needle lacing needles that Nick talks about. And I've talked about those enough, so we will move on. Next is sinew. I have two types. I have regular and black. Most of my bellies are made out of black paracord, and I usually make darker whips, so this stuff comes in handy. But if I'm making a bigger white or lighter colored whip, I'll use just the regular artificial sinew. We got a FID. This works great for opening up a hole in paracord or tightening down your heel knots or transition knots. It's a good piece of kit. Let's see. Glue gun, hot glue gun. I'll use this for any type of adhesives I have to do, along with wax. This stuff, this won't move too much, and it works good for putting on conchos or things like that. Along with adhesives, I also have some CA glue and Kicker. This stuff is a type of crazy glue. Model makers will use them a lot. I used them when I was building model airplanes. This is an incredible little tool. It's very thin, and it gets into, it'll soak into the paracord to make anything really stiff. I'll use this sometimes on a whip I know is going to a customer that might be a little harder on it, so I will soak the heel knot in this and give it a little bit of kicker, and it'll make the heel knot a lot stronger. So if I know it's going to be a whip that'll abuse it, this stuff works really good. Last few things, since we're talking about heel knots, I do have a stapler. This is what I secure all of my heel knots with now, as well as some sinew. This has, I believe, 3/4 inch staples is what I have in it, and those hold everything together very, very well. These are my whip making gloves. I use these when I'm working on a bullwhip or something that has to be very tight and it's not going to be waxed. I cut the 3 of the fingers off so I can have some dexterity, but I took the 2 fingers from here and I put them inside of these so I can really pull on paracord if I need to, and I won't hurt rope burn or damage my hands. And last couple items here, infrared temperature gauge for checking my wax temperatures. You saw that in my How to Wax a Whip video, link below. And lastly, take it out the table here, I have my vise. Sorry, my neighbor's doing construction work, but it's too nice of a day to record inside. This is a vise I got from Harbor Freight. It works great. It's fully adjustable. I can spin it on the table. I can spin it 360 around, and the head will also spin 360. And it has a set of 3-inch jaws and a set of, I think these are 1.5-inch jaws. It works great. It holds my whips very well, and it's been working for me for a number of years. And that would be the last one of the bunch. So that brings us to the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. It does help the channel get more noticed. And I know this is a few more tools than most whip makers will use. I used a lot of these in college when I was going through my trade programs, so I just happened to have them, and I put them in my kit for whip making. Little update, we are doing weekly videos now, so every Wednesday I'm going to try and get a video out for you guys, so hit the subscribe button. We are also still giving away that 3-foot snake whip at 100 subscribers, so hit that button and you'll be entered in the drawing. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye.